Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
It's going to be additional time on the field, which is something we already do. You guys have seen that throughout the different phases of training camp in the spring and even the game week preparation. But we're going to do more of that, and then also really challenging our look teams defensively to go at the football. Any chance you can to punch, hammer, rake, try to get that ball out and simulate what we're seeing in the games.
Stop fumbling, clowns.
Football, yeah, football!
Clowns.
Football!
Wow, dude. Wow.
Just have wives start to rake the football from their husbands now at home. Just wherever you're going, the kids can rake the football.
Oh yeah.
Just
I think when
rakers.
you walk into Kowalski's, is this Alex Boone, by the way, here for a little trenches session.
Football.
Former Viking, former San Francisco 49er, and he's got a new podcast and film platform called the O-Line Committee, the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. You can also find the O-Line Committee podcast on Apple and Spotify. You and Jeremiah, and I'm just sort of the ringleader to keep you guys in line.
Oh, yeah, a lot of stuff to break down now, especially after week 2. Week 2 was very interesting, guys, for everybody. Right?
Crazy blocked field goals. You got all kinds of.
Did you see the guy running from the sideline and nobody thought to touch him? Nobody was like, hey, the guy out there running full speed, don't even worry about him. He's not even
I didn't know you could do that. I had no idea that was allowed.
I'm telling you, that man's brain is insane. What it can think of out of nowhere. Like, who would have ever thought to put somebody way at the numbers and have them bow all the way out and then back in to block? I mean, just the
running start,
man. Guy. It's just incredible. You have to appreciate him. And then when you're watching him yell at the ref, and the ref's just taking every little bit of it, just yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Bill's in his face. He's got a finger in there. And not one person is like, calm down, Bill. Everybody knows their role with him. But you know what?
Bill doesn't have a hold me back coach like Sean McVay does.
Touch that man, you would probably die. Okay. That's just how that goes. But it was an interesting week. And Vikings, I don't know, boys.
Well, we've got 5 failed rushing attempts. There were like 9 of them total. They didn't run the ball a whole lot. So we're going to get into the film with you, and we're going to try and fix this running game.
Let's do it.
We also have a couple questions about fumbles here. Declan's going to fire someone's ass on today's Trenches episode with our guy Alex Boone. No matter what you watch, though, TCL has award-winning TVs for any budget, any space, all with stunning picture quality. TCL makes more than just TVs, too. They offer mobile products, audio devices, and home appliances. TCL brings you joy and simplicity through innovative technology.
Football.
So, have you been on teams with chronic fumbling problems? So the Vikings have 7 turnovers in 2 games.
No.
And I think 6 of them are fumbles. So you got depressed Kevin O'Connell in his press conference being like, oh, yeah, so we're going to have to, we're just going to have to tape footballs to people's arms all week. And
no, you know what he's going to do? It's going to be like the program. Remember in the program where he sent him to school with the ball and he was like, anyone comes back with this ball other than you, you're a dead man. And then in the middle of class, they all try to knock it out and a whole scrum breaks out. It's going to be like that every day. And then the O-linemen are going to be holding them, walking around. It's going to be real tight. You know what it is? Everyone's ass is just real tight. That's exactly what it is. It's kind of getting a little bit annoying. And the ball's getting really slippery at times at night. And they just don't have any good ball security. And it's one of these things where we talked about going in on a Thursday night. A lot of it is who's ready to play football, who's going to be the tougher guy, who's going to come out here and punch the other person in the mouth. And you could see the Phillies defense was all over the place. I mean, they were just getting after the Vikings O-line. And that's where it comes back to me. It starts getting upsetting because when you ask me, we're going to look at some plays, talk about why they couldn't run the ball. A lot of why they can't run the ball is because they're just not blocking. It's that simple. Like you just need to throw your hands on a defender and try and mash him into the ground. It's not hard. I tell my 6th graders that. Guys, I take these 2 things right here and I just go demolish people with them. But you see guys lazily running out. You see guys not blocking linebackers. You see guys not getting the downs blocked. It's a recipe for disaster. And we talked about it earlier. Like, we're not even talking about the playoffs right now because it's 0-2. And so now you're just going all the way back to
playoffs.
Don't. Just don't.
Playoffs.
You're going back to like the fundamentals of football of like, hey guys, as long as we just don't turn the ball over, we have a good chance to win the game. Let's just do that for a game. Let's just not turn the ball over. See what happens. See what the score looks like at the end.
The incredible thing, though, is the fact that, you lose 3 fumbles in the first game. So you would think the ball security would have been at a premium for game 2. And then you lose 4, including Jefferson, God bless him, trying to extend that ball out. It's just, I think your word is correct. It feels like an overall lack of preparation for the season, which is something I completely don't get for this team.
I agree. And it's one of those things where after week 1, I'm sure that everybody went in and was like, hey, this isn't who we are. We're gonna start over. We're gonna redo this on Thursday night. We're gonna do this. And then you go out and you just keep turning. And it was just the fumble on the punt return was one of the craziest things I've seen. The like you said, Justin extending the ball, like that never happens. And to happen in the same game, what? How is this going? And this is one of those things where everyone's looking around going, okay, who's going to do it? Who's going to be the bad guy? Who's going to start walking around and yelling at everybody and be the unpopular guy on the sideline? And when you don't have a guy that's out there cussing everybody out, screaming at everybody like, yo, this is bullshit. We're in Philly right now. We're about to get jumped on the way out, and we're walking out of here with an L. This is not happening right now. But you didn't see any of that. Instead, you see everybody just like, well, it's okay. It's not who we are. It's not who we are. No, it is clearly who you are. You've put out 2 games now. This is what you are. Stop lying to yourself, because then you become a delusional team. We're fighting really, really hard. Yeah, but you're turning the ball over. And at the same time, when you can't stop the run game and you're turning the ball over, that is the most recipe for disaster ever. And you've put both of those out on film now. So now everybody's going to be ball hawking.
So that's
4 weeks.
Yeah. So, the ball hawking, and then
it's going to be crazy.
There's 2 things on film that are bad going forward that you have to adjust for. There's the ball hawking thing. And then Judd brought this up on Ventline right after the game on Thursday. He said the other thing that's on film is they just ran the ball about 100 times for 7,000 yards. And they had a drive. The Eagles had a drive where they ran the ball 13 times, and there was no like 50-yard run. It was just 4, 6, 8 right through your soul.
Right
and
down the middle, dude. Oh.
So if you're any other team right now, what is that? Just flip it around from the Eagles standpoint, or any other offensive line looking at the Vikings defensive front. And the Vikings defense has done some great things in chunks, but that was like, oh my God. The biggest fear was, do they have enough bodies in the middle as they're trying to get smaller and faster, more nimble? What are opposing offensive lines thinking about the Vikings defense right now?
We're about to feast. We're about to put them in nickel. We're going to put them in nickel the whole game, and we're going to feast out of it. And we've talked about this on the O-line committee. Like, there's times where this becomes a chess game. And if I'm even the offensive coordinator, I'm going, okay, listen, let's keep them in nickel. How do we do that? All right, well, you're going to play a lot. Fullback, you sit down. We don't need you this week. But at the same time, now everything's going to be going outside. And I love how it's just this simple. We ran that same play in Frisco. We started all of this with Cap, and we had all this fun with all this RPOs, and we ran that play and was 35-36 blunt, probably as much as they did. And when you can do that to people and come out there and in a 15-play drive, run the same play 13 times and look at a defense and be like, okay, see you guys back in a minute, okay? You go rest up. We'll be back out here to do the same damn thing the rest of the year, because you can't stop it. It's harsh and it's demoralizing. And then when the defense looks at the offense and they're like, hey, you're going to bail us out today, right? We got you. Ball out, sack, all these things, incompletion. Like one of the other things that I'm starting to see this year, this is more of an advanced scouting, is their third downs are not how they used to be. Before it was 3rd and 6, it was like, oh, this is going to be easy for them. I'm just going to do a quick chunk out to JJ. It's over. Now it's like there's full duress. We have too much going on. There's guys everywhere. It's pure pandemonium. We're not converting third downs, which is putting our defense back out there for these 15-play drives. And then we're coming back out and not converting the next third down. So they're very tired. It's just a formula for disaster. And it's like you said, they're all kind of looking, going, this isn't who we are, though. And it is. Now you got to fix it.
Yeah.
So I actually went back Saturday and I charted the entire 16-play, 13-run drive. And here, so 2 things.
Me too, by the way. It was sadistic.
Brian Flores, I still like, I think that he's very good at what he does. but the lack of adjustments in that drive was scary. They basically went with one down lineman, ordinarily Harrison Phillips. I think Kyrie's Tonga was on the field for 2 snaps, 3 max. Dean Lowry, I think, got 1 snap. They were basically going with one guy. And I mean, Harrison Phillips, I like him, but he ain't Grady Jackson. He ain't Ted Washington. And so Philadelphia was like, okay, cool. We'll just continue to hammer. And the Vikings, instead of saying, you know what, we got to respond here to the detriment of we might get passed on, which, by the way, Philly was not doing a good job of. The Vikings just basically stayed with different looks, but the personnel didn't move. And the clear lack of people that Flores has confidence in Boone is staggering. Like, I would say this, Kyrie's Tonga, who we all thought might be a developing player, I don't think Flores trusts him. And for all we talk about, well, you know, Dean Lowry came from the Packers and he's going to help again. I think he played 1 snap. So like the lack of faith in the personnel up front is staggering and a huge problem unless they just decide we've got to play those guys.
I agree. And I think that having them in on a nickel package would have been benefit for this. This is one of those things where if I was a defensive coordinator, I would look at this like, my pass rush can go down. I just can't let these big dudes up front win. I can't let them get going. I can't let their confidence get going because they are one of the best units in the NFL. And if these dudes start steamrolling us, there's no stopping them the whole day. Now, there were times where we got to the quarterback. Daniil got a sack. I thought they did a good job trying to contain him when it was passing. But at the same time, when you talk about that 13-play run drive, eventually I'm subbing in some big dudes. Like, hey, they're clearly trying to send a message. We need to send one back. Let's get a couple more big guys out there. We can't just have all these pass rushers out there because if you do, and I look up, I start going, oh, this could be great. Yeah, we might be in 5 single blocks, and this might take away the fun of the zone because that's why we enjoy running zone is because there's so many combo blocks all over the place. And when you look up, there's 5 guys up here. So you're like, hey, we're all just basically manned up. But at the same time, that's a pass rusher. That's not, like you said, Kevin Williams. That's not Haloti Nada who's in here to stop the run. They're in here to rush the pass. So if I just get my hands on them, we're over. It's not going in. They're not going to get through me.
So on the flip side, and we're going to get into here in just a minute, on the Vikings offensive side, I just want to preface this by saying I don't think the Vikings are 0-2 specifically because they've struggled to run the football. I think like they've been able to throw the ball enough, and we just went over some of the defensive issues against the Eagles. But they've only run the ball, I believe it's 26 times for 68 yards in 2 games. And Booney, so I'm saying it's more like predictive. Boy, if you can't run the ball better starting against the Chargers in week 3, you're going to have another problem on your doorstep. So we're looking to got to get that run game going. But they came out the first 2 games of the season way less 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receivers, running back, tight end. Way more 12, 21, and 13, meaning extra tight end, extra running back, or extra fullback than they did all of last season. So, and they bring in, Josh Oliver is a world-renowned blocking tight end. CJ Ham's been out there for a lot of snaps. So they clearly they decided we're going to go heavier in 2023. We're gonna schematically, we're gonna do things to try and open up the run. And it's funny because like they haven't been able to run the ball, but the play action's still sucking linebackers in. So like that's a side benefit. But I guess just your general thoughts on the Vikings have tried to do a much more heavier thing personnel wise than last year, like the Niners do. Like the Dolphins always have like an extra running back or fullback in the game, it seems like.
Right.
And it's working in the passing game, but they haven't been able to run the ball for jack squat yet. So just from what you've seen, what do you see?
From what I've seen, it just seems like people need to start blocking up front. Like there's a lot of things that I'm looking at, and Schlotman running into people, the guards not getting up to linebackers. There was a screen that I saw this last week, and Judd, you hit my mind right away because I was looking at it and I was like, this is the reason why they're not a good screen team. They just don't have a sense of urgency and they don't sell it very well. And I think it was Ingram Ezra and Ingram were getting out, and Ezra got out, and Ingram kind of started to pause. And it's one of those situations where if you're in a screen, once I'm committed, I'm gone. I got to go somewhere, and I got to get there now. And I think it ended up being like a loss of like 3 yards. And it's just one of those things where if you could just get a hat on a hat and let somebody make a play, that outcome becomes way different. And at the same time, if we continually start doing that, we're going to put the defense that we're playing in a bind instead of them continuously putting us in a bind. And it's when we can't run the ball, it's going to slowly start to shut down our offense. And you're right. The play action's working great. Everybody's open. We can do deep strikes. But how long do you think that play action is going to last for before people are eventually like, okay, well, we're not sucking up anymore. Like there's zero threat of you even running the ball here. We'll give you your 5 yards. How about that? We will challenge you because we don't even think we'll give you. And that's what I'm saying. And you're already 0-2. People are like, well, it's not that bad. You're right. It's not that bad, but it's going to get a lot worse, especially this week with Austin Eckler coming in town and what he did, 2 weeks ago? They destroy. I mean, the Chargers are a tough team. And if they want to start throwing the ball to Austin, they want to start handing the ball off to him, it becomes a very different game. Like they're a team, and now that you've put this out there and you're starting to say, hey, listen, this week coming in, these guys can hold the ball for a long time. They can put up a lot of yards. They can put up a lot of points. We need to match this offensively. We need to start turning ourselves around. We need to start having 15-play drives and 10-play drives. We need to start controlling the game. That's what holding that ball does. It controls who owns the game. And if we let them do it, guys, I've seen them do it masterfully. And it could look really bad. Or we could stop messing around and start playing and just make this simple. And that's what they need to do.
Well, let's look at some film next, presented by our friends at AG1. So AG1 is like nutritional insurance to start your day. You know, if you're like us and maybe you're not the greatest at getting all of the right nutrients you need just by eating the right way every single day. You're busy, you're on the move. 1 scoop of AG1 mixed with water in the morning for me, or maybe like middle of the day. If you want a little boost around 1 or 2 o'clock, gives you 75 high-quality ingredients, important daily nutrients, helps with brain fog, energy levels, helps with gut health. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, AG1 is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/purpledaily. That's drinkag1.com/purpledaily and check it out.
Hey, was that your pre-workout?
It was my pre-record.
Look dark, super early in the morning, shaking the green shake. You're like, I'm good. I'm good.
You don't get a body like this, okay? You don't just wake up and happen, okay?
Come on, Mac and Dick, we know how hard you work. Come on.
Let's also shout out our friends at the Minnesota Lottery, Judd. Got those the Vikings can't win, but you can with those Vikings scratch game tickets.
And that's exactly right. With the new lottery Viking scratch game, which is the official scratch game of the Vikings, of course, you could win up to $100,000 or second chance prizes, including season tickets or an away game trip. That's officially exciting. The Minnesota Lottery, just say I'm in, must be 18 or older to play.
And one more shout out before we break down some film here with our guy Booney. Power Lodge and Miller Marine here. So lake season is starting to throttle down, although it's going to be like 80 degrees here later this week. But you can trust the world's largest Bennington dealer, Miller Marine and Power Lodge, to protect your pontoon. So they've got winterization specials going on right now at Power Lodge and Miller Marine, offering free storage with the purchase of a new boat as well. Get double the value of that boat if it's a luxurious Bennington. Unbeatable employee pricing stacked on top of rebates. Throttle therapy might be necessary for some Vikings fans right now. Yeah.
2024, man, guess what? It's going to be a good year because you are going to be out on that Bennington, no matter how the Vikings do in 2023, gear up for spring and summer.
Yes, throttle therapy on and off the water. Check them out at powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. All right, boys, let's go full screen here. If my mouse will work.
Come on, let's do this. Got me all sweaty now. There we go.
These are 5 of the first 6 run plays for the Vikings in the first half. It's like half their run plays for this game.
For the season, you mean?
Pretty much for the season. So we'll show you. I think I've got this in 2 chunks. There's 3 plays on this first reel, and then I'll switch it here. But we'll let it run, and then we'll go back, and Boone, you can tell us what the hell is going wrong here.
Here we go. Let's see. Nice little wing
it's
set.
Heavy, man.
Oh,
2 tight ends.
Bring them over.
Here.
Bring them. Oh. This duo. See, this one, I was watching this one and I kept going back. And really, this one kind of just falls. Good. This is duo. This is what the new powers become. They don't pull the guard anymore. And so we get double teams all across the board here, right? So you basically get the center, stop it, and the left guard are going to ace back to 52. Yep. You get Ole, you get him on the defensive end with 87, and they're going to number, I believe that's 4, D1.
Yeah,
scrolling up. Yep. So now you got 87. He's got this 94. Is that Sweat? Yep.
94 on the outside here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
he's got him. Always block the downs, Mackie. If you don't block the downs, the play is worthless, right? So you got 87 going there, and you got 17 coming up inside here for 40, 20. I don't know.
40 something or other. Not gonna work here.
Not gonna work here anymore. Hey, draw that line down to that backer so we can see it. So you can see where the hole is gonna hit.
Right here?
Yep. Yeah. So now you see that hole between those two guys? That's where the ball should hit, right? So Ole's going to wash him this way. We're going to ace back. We're money backside, which could be a fan based on that as alignment. It looks like Fletcher might be in a 4-eye to start, which would be a real true fan, but we would just be like, yo, money. So what the problem becomes is you see the safety
theory.
coming down here? That's the running backs. That's his guy. And once you motion this receiver in here to block this nickel, the safety starts to fill. Now, Madison wants to take it in here, but he sees 52. And this is what I'm talking about just blocking people. Like if Ezra gets a better job of snapping this right there, see how he turns so much? We never really want to turn. Why? Because the running back shoulders aren't turned. So he's clearly not making a big move anywhere, right? See how everybody looks just like him? And it looks really kind of cool on the left. Ole,
except for Ezra Cleveland. So he's
now
faced
why'd
the
you
wrong
have to
way.
throw him under the bus like that? Mackie.
Well, you threw him under first.
You said it. Sensitive.
Sensitive,
Dang.
fine. Sensitive for being sensitive.
You know what? Being nice is no way to get results. Let's go.
No,
let's destroy
see
some
this
people.
right here? See this? If he'd have been more square and he would have climbed on 52 right there, this ball hits right where they want it to. Because maybe that linebacker behind Ole, Madison can't see him. But at the same time, I'll take Alexander Madison running downhill as fast as he can through that gap because he's going to get about 3-4 yards. But the problem is when he sees that, he gets a little bit spooked, and so he cuts it back outside waiting for the safety. And that's his guy. You have to beat him. They'll tell the running back in the meeting, hey, we'll get you on him, but you have to beat him. And there's not a lot he can do here. Still gets a good run. What is it?
It's like a 3-yard. It's like a 3-yard gain here.
It's not bad, right? But it could be a lot better.
So ideally, what should he have done? In perfect world, what would he do here? Would he take that first hole and just try and exploit it, or cut it out more? Like what would you tell him to do after watching this film?
Duo can never go out. If you go outside, you're on your own the whole time. That's what they tell you. So if anything, he should just cram it right in there because we know that the ball's trying to stay inside the tackle. So we're going to stay on our guys as long as we can and just continue driving them. You go outside, it's one-on-one with you and the safety.
So
it's the same thing with power because in power, they used to tell you in Frisco when I played with Frank, they told if you ever hit it anywhere but A or B, you're on your own and nobody's blocking for you anymore.
So he has the option here of like he's kind of looking over in this general area, right? Like it's being blocked the way that you said. So as this play plays out, this is where we get to ask dumb questions to Alex. So you're saying Ezra Cleveland's job on this play is to you're doubling with Schlottman here to start the play. Yeah. But it looks like this is all under control, right? So he should move faster up to that second level to get a hat on this linebacker. Right?
He should say more square. Because see, when he turns, the minute you turn in this, you can't go block that linebacker because it's such a fast hitting play.
You could leg whip him and hope that you don't get penalized, I guess. But
even then, do you really want to leg whip a guy? That's not
good. And he tried there though late. Like go back and watch this, you guys. He tries to turn, but it's way too late.
Yeah.
You're right.
And that's why I'm saying if you'd have just stayed more square, he runs up there and Alexander Madison just follows him all the way up there. But when you turn, you scare the running back.
All right, here's another one.
Here we go.
Yeah, so we're matriculating here. 45.
Oh, look at that jam front. Well, it's really just
is this a run? Like, what is this? This might not even be a run play, dudes. I don't even know what this is.
He tripped on Schlottman's foot.
This is just.
This is week 2 in a row that somebody in the core has messed with the quarterback.
Like 1/4 speed.
I'm going to say this like the coaches would have said this. Number 8, whether you like him or not, is the boss. Dude, he's the boss. And when you keep stepping on him like this and you keep knocking the ball out of his hands, you're going to piss off the boss. And you're going to piss off his boss. And that's what you don't want to do, right? The problem is when he takes a step, he gets too much depth. Like he's not
Schlottman.
I would call this, if I was talking to one of my guys in the gym, I'd say you're being too passive. The boss is standing right behind you with the ball. You can't let somebody drive you in the backfield, no matter how big he is, no matter how strong he is, whether you're a backup or a starter. It doesn't matter. You need to run off the ball and drive him. Because, look, within 2 steps, you're already in the quarterback's lap. It really – and it's not – Mackie, we've talked about this on O-line committee. I get it that he's a shade. He is tight. He's not on your snap hand, so you don't have full authority to say it was completely crazy. But you're taking out 3 different people in this play.
Look at what's happening.
Which is just a mess.
Your 6th grade team would pay the price for this stunt.
Are you kidding me? They'd be running on Tuesday for something like this. Not coming off the ball. Boys, we're here to play football. This goes back to the simplest thing. We're here to play football. What is the problem?
All right, we're trying. We're gonna try again here. Okay, let's see.
Let's try again. Let's try again.
Wow! Jalen Carter.
Oh, coach, he's the first pick in the draft. Oh my God! All right, so here we go. Right, we're running simple. Looks like a little tight zone. Weak. Love it. Let's keep it simple. Let's get them moving. Let's see where everybody's going. We fly out there.
This is out of 11, by the way. This is 11.
29's not in the box. So we're just doing a single up to 41 here, and then we're being backside. This is exactly what they were doing to the Vikings. Same thing. Simple, tight zone. Keep it in here. Oli Udo, you're going out. We got a single.
All right, who's got who here? So Udo is going out here.
Yeah, your money out there. You got Ezra and Schlottman. It's called a single, or it could be called a chip or a gap, technically, because he is on the center, so it'd be called like a single. You see that foot? See how his foot's on his foot? See how detailed we get out there? Like, it's got to be perfect, or it doesn't hit my brain right. So this would be a single to 41, and then backside, you're being Fletcher Cox to 52, and then 87's cutting off backside, which is a good beat. Look at that. Ingram gets his foot down. See that? That right there creates the lane. Right there is exactly where we want the running back to start running. But the problem is Jalen makes a great move, and Schlottman's feet, see how he's kind of hoppy?
Yeah, so let's keep an eye on. I know the camera is sitting here in the way here, but keep an eye on.
Oh, we can see him. Come on, taped in white. So here we go. He gets a little right there. It's a good step, but there. Oh, yeah. See how he gets hoppy? And,
yep.
and it's easy for a defensive lineman to feel you when you're hoppy because you don't feel like you have any power in the ground. So you're just like nothing's really touching you. So the minute he grabs Schlottman's shoulder right there and rips through, it's over. The play's over. Alexander Madison has nowhere to go. But here's what I also want to talk about. See what Ezra Cleveland's doing? And I'm not, you know me. I can be a dick at times, but I only become a dick when things are going wrong and I expect someone to step up, right? Like Brian, I expected you to step up here, but I'll lean on Ezra here. You have nothing to do with this chip. You're completely out of control. How do I know? Go back. See your feet. See how they're right together?
Like off the start here? Or
No. Keep playing it. Get ready to pause it. Keep going. You're going to go when he gets past. He's going to take a couple steps, right?
Right here.
There. See how his feet are together and they look like they're on a tightrope? If you get touched from any direction, you can't do anything. You're falling over. Like, that's not good footwork. And at the same time, you're climbing on the linebacker. Does he block the linebacker? Because Schlottman can get away with probably getting beat backside right here. But the problem is Alexander Madison's in the hole. And if he goes left, look, there's nobody there too. And that's my whole point. See? Well, you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't throw those huge mallets he has connected to his arms into his chest like he's supposed to. And this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you're looking at it, people are like, oh, it must be a really advanced answer. No one's just blocking anyone. Everyone's being really lazy up front right now. And the problem is not everyone is.
Why? But like, why?
One guy always gets caught.
It's week 2 in the like. How are you not like ready to rock and roll? Is my question. These are some like basic footwork things from veteran players that you're pointing out that are just. I mean, right if you'd have to be like it's Schlottman, by the way, I keep pronouncing it Schlottman. I don't know, Schlottman. You're gonna be Schlottman until you can get your feet right.
Seriously,
guy. Okay,
guy.
But it's like if it looks like he's.
Go back.
It looks like he's playing
Schlottman
for the Eagles here.
Watch his left hand. See how it doesn't move? Go back.
So
watch his left arm.
His left
and
arm,
the rule of thumb is this: when I snap the ball, my left hand comes up. So as one's going like to snap the ball, my other hand's coming up. Why? Because I have to protect my face at all times, stupid. But when you don't, you see how he has no hands on him? I was wondering how he slipped through so sneaky. I'm like, man, that's a really good slip through. But it makes sense now, Schlotman, because you're not using your hands at all.
So Boone, though, like just to call a spade here, he's probably not that good. Like he's probably a backup, and now because of Bradbury's bad back, who knows how long he might have to play for? But
probably the whole season.
Might not. But I mean, he just might not be that good. And I don't know if you can get somebody else or not.
I hate to tell you, but he's one of the top 64 centers in the NFL, which makes him one of the top 64 centers in the world, which makes him one of 64 people good enough to do it. That's my whole point. Whether you're good enough or not, when game time comes, you have to be good enough, because if you're not, you are going to fail. And if you fail at the center position, the whole game is over. If the quickest way to the quarterback is the easiest way to get there, we're screwed. Hate to tell you guys, but that is the worst thing that can happen. It's at least a little better when we're like, yeah, our tackles suck, but it's going to take you a good 4 seconds to get there. When they're like, yeah, I just go one step and I'm right in the guy's face. You guys, I don't even have to ask, right? Especially with that number 8 dude. Like, what's going to happen when people start running through the middle?
Yeah,
he's going to get annihilated. Yeah,
I will say credit to Kirk, because there's been a lot of interior pressure. Although I think he's only been pressured like the 8th. Like he's top 10 for least pressured so far this year, which is good. But he's kind of hung in there, man. Like they don't have no running game so far this year. Tough road game against Philadelphia, and Kirk has hung in there in the first 2 games.
Let's go, Mackie. Don't.
You know how I feel about Kirk.
Don't say things like that, because then you're going to get me all riled up. Yeah. When you're making $40 million, you should be able to win the game by yourself. Just saying.
He's going to get hurt at some point too. Like with how this is going, you can't avoid. I mean, he has been fortunate and he's tough, but he's going to get hurt with how they're going.
Well, let's
interior pressure.
That's what they got to get a run game going so that he doesn't have to. I've got a few more. I got at least 2 more here for you guys. So nice. Booney, we'll show you. I don't know. I'm just from like an idiot fan perspective. I look at this and say they have 6 men in the box. You got your run blocking tight end in Josh Oliver here. This looks like, and by the way, and I know that the Eagles aren't planning on just like ignoring this area of the field. They're going to fill that in some capacity, but this looks like a play that you should be able to gain some yards on. That was my first thought when I saw this, and then we'll roll the tape. It's just, I guess they got a couple yards on this play, but it's just
not bad.
It's such a, so when you get your 2 yards shy of the line there, every game, but it's like pulling teeth to get a 3-yard gain, a 4-yard gain.
I will say this sometimes, and hear me, when you're in the run game and you're running out of a 2-point
make excuses
stance,
for this. Here we go.
I'm not, but running out of a 2-point stance becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay. It's just a little bit harder. Should you have just been in a 3-point as a guard? Of course I would have. It's not a bad job on this deuce. The problem is Brian doesn't really get a lot into it. You see how he kind of gets into it a little bit high. Go back.
Yep.
He gets into it a little bit. Now that's Fletcher Cox. Okay. If you want to move Fletcher Cox, you got to be low, and they're all in a 2-point stance, which is hard. So you're naturally going to be high when you do this. But at the same time, when you come around, Ezra does an okay job of hitting the linebacker out. But then when he cuts back in, Fletcher Cox is right there because you haven't really moved him anywhere.
And I think just like back to my, and I'll go back to this play so we can break it down more, is what I'm showing you here. Like this is like a 3.5-yard gain. This is like the best of the Vikings running game through the first 2 weeks. Like
that's the problem.
What you are seeing right now is this is it right here, guys. This is the creme de la creme of the Vikings running game through the first couple weeks right here.
You know what I would have liked to have seen here, and I wish people would just start exploiting this. Pause this. Mackie, draw a line from the linebacker and the defensive tackles on both sides. Just connect the dots.
Do what now?
Draw a line from him to the D tackle in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
And a line from him to here. All that grass in there should be exposed quickly. We should run a trap. Why? Because these guys think we're passing it. Yeah, look at Fletcher Cox. Look at him. He's ready to rush the passer. I would send Ezra Cleveland over there, trap him. You send Ed Ingram backside. You let Brian O'Neill do the swim over the top of Fletcher Cox, and he's on this linebacker, and we quick handoff and go. And we just start going more rapid fire. And then all of a sudden, these D tackles start closing in, right? And then all of a sudden, we start going outside a little bit more. We just constantly keep moving where the ball is and how they adjust to it.
Trap their asses.
So
this
why
was not
they?
A bad thought. This just took too long. Get there quicker.
Here's my thing too, Booney. that occurs to me in watching all of these plays. The clear lack of confidence, and unfortunately, rightfully so, in any type of screen game really hurts you.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because when you're running a screen and you're like, man, we can't even sell them that well. Everybody knows it's coming. It's just not good. And it's not hard to sell a screen. You really just have to act really stupid. Like you pretend like you don't know the call. We used to mess with guys so bad. We'd be center be like lucky, and then I'd be like, hey, Ricky. The D tackle would be like, didn't he just say lucky? I'd be like, no, he means Ricky. And then all of a sudden I'd act like I'm stupid and forgot what's going on.
What's happening?
Yeah, you're idiots.
And here's one more. Here's one more here again.
Go back. This is the one that really pissed me off. Let me tell you something. I'm
gonna run it in full. And we'll come back.
It's a juicy look. I mean, juice. I forgot I gotta block the front side linebacker. Go back.
So we got two tight ends on the field here too for the Vikings. So we're heavy. We are heavy.
Oh God, football.
We're heavy. All right, so we got a nice little under front, right? You got our Sam, there's our end, our nose, our 3 technique, our other end, our linebackers, Will, Mike. Front side, we're going to do a nice little combo triple out here where the 3 of us are going to take these 2 and we're going to work
So which numbers have who here?
87 is blocking 7.
Okay.
Clearly,
boom.
Right? 84 and 75 should be kicking this out to probably about the safety.
Okay, so they're going to I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going up to 20 whatever up there. You're
yeah.
saying.
I mean, if anything, this box is a little light, but they're accounted for on the backside, so they're fine. Ed Ingram, it should be we would call that kind of a double because he should be working with the tackle. Double up to 41.
Okay, so we're going up here. So you're kind of going up this way.
Whoa, that line drives me nuts. Yeah, center's reaching, and we're B backside, right? Like just full handoff and go. Simple things. Let this little boot action keep 94 honest. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh, there's that safety coming down. There he is.
So,
oh, my God.
Wow.
Go back.
By the way, Schlattman on this play, he has to get around. He has to snap the ball and then get around. That's not a bad job by Schlattman there.
No, it's a great job, especially because you're allowed to get a little depth because this is such a wide zone. You can gain it. Yeah. You can give a little bit against the nose tackle. But at the same time, Ingram, got to go.
Oh,
you're
what
looking
is he doing?
at the wrong linebacker. This is what I'm saying. See it? You guys see it now, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so watch Ingram on this play. He winds up getting confused and blocking nobody. This should be if Ingram puts a hat on here.
Yes.
And by the way, Cleveland got kind of blown off here by a linebacker. The ball should if Ed Ingram keeps running on this track go back. That's what it was right there. His first step. Go back. You can see it clear as day. Watch his first step. Go quarter speed here for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's backwards.
See how he goes to his toe? And he doesn't really go anywhere. You got to gain ground right now and just cover up 41 because you're going to flow with him outside. Ezra's going to hit this linebacker, and Madison's just going to now. Oli Udu could give us a better block, but still, if 41's not in the hole, this is just a cut right through there. Just go.
This is a huge.
What's Ingram doing?
Go!
But what's he doing? What's he doing here?
No, literally, I don't know. I'm telling you, at the line of scrimmage, it becomes really easy. If you go back, we call this a guard bubble, right? Because there's a bubble over the guard. If you were to draw a bubble, he's not covered. So it's a guard bubble. When you look up, and the center probably said something like, hey, double. He probably told him, you go. You don't need to be here because look how wide that linebacker is. You're not going to be able to hit him and run out there. Nobody's that fast. So he's probably like, just go. You need to sell. He should have been going for Fletcher Cox. Like, go threaten Fletcher's inside and just destroy his hip. Knock him out even farther and then hit 41. But instead, he takes this step that goes back and it's on his toe. And then as he's climbing, he's looking at 52. Never look at somebody that's not my responsibility. Why? Because my feet will take me there.
So he could chip Fletcher Cox here, just get into his hip and then go up to the second level, right? And he doesn't do any of that. Jeez. Can Dalton Reisner help with any of this?
Stop it. So somebody told me
just
he
asking.
was tweeting back. I was like, tweeting back?
He
You
is.
should have
He's
been in the
tweeting back
gym
to
working
fans.
out.
Yeah.
Go to a gym and work out, dude. What are you tweeting for? Stop it.
So it's a no. It's a no on Dalton.
I know it.
Yes.
I
Look at
really feel
Ingram
for the
there.
guy.
I know.
He like knows he screwed up. Like look, he's like shaking his head. He knows that he screwed up. So
Mackie
what was the
Mackie
film?
knows on our other show we would have been crushing him for some palms up and some ding ding.
So what was the film room like on Friday? Do you think when they sat down and watched this, or when they watched it, especially in that O-line room?
You know, I don't know Coach Cooper that well. I mean, we know each other very well. We're friends. We're good friends. But I don't know him well enough to know what he would be like in a room. I can tell you if that was my O-line, there'd be a lot of Starbucks coffee cups thrown against the wall. Probably at a couple dudes. Like at some point, it's like, guys, we have to rise up. We have to show them that we can be this team, okay? The defense can't always win us games. It's not always going to happen like that. We have to go out and be able to put up points at will. We have amazing playmakers on this team, and we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. It's us shooting ourselves. And so at some point, you're like, hey, it's not going to get any easier, okay? This week we're playing the Chargers. I think the week after that, it's the Chiefs. Guys, it's only getting worse. You're only going to continue to play better teams, and that's how the seasons eventually mess with you, because when you become a really good team for a long time and you play really good teams, it's fun to watch, right? Like, it's really fun. Then all of a sudden you have a down year and you're still one of the top teams from the year before and you're playing all the top teams and it's not fun. And you're like, guys, this is going horribly wrong for us. What is wrong? And it's kind of like a little bit of what Judd said, I think. Kind of a little bit of coasting into the season. We'll be fine. We're good. Look who we have. We can make this work. And all of a sudden it's like Baker Mayfield said differently. Let's just make sure we heard that correctly. Baker Mayfield said differently.
Baker Mayfield, 2-0 Baker Mayfield,
2-0.
by the
Hey,
way. By the way.
Just if it makes everybody happy, the Vikings weren't the only team caught sleeping in the season, okay? They weren't the
By
only team
Baker
to go
Mayfield.
cruise on week one and then, oh,
Wow.
wait, we didn't win? What? They weren't afraid of us?
Yeah.
What?
Well, the Chargers, that's the thing. You get. I told Judd, I was texting with Judd during the red zone festivities yesterday that I think the Chargers losing and dropping to 0-2 actually makes it worse for you this week, because now they're also going to be desperate coming into your house.
Meet the desperation. Like, prove yourself.
You know, you
Yeah.
do.
Have
You
some
need to
cojones.
meet the intensity this week. You need to
Yes.
go out there and be we're guys, Jackson Pollock. That's what this week looks like. Just a hodgepodge of everything is everywhere and going every which way. And you know what? As confused as we might be, they're going to be even more
Wow.
confused. Dude,
Jackson
let's go.
Pollock.
You have to
Wow.
throw everything at the wall now.
Ohio State taught him well.
I'm just telling you right now, if you start 0-3,
Well,
Yeah.
you could,
the
start
deficit
to-
to come. And do you know how many people I talked to this year that were like, well, yeah, for sure 1-2, probably 2-1. And now you're looking at 0-3, and that statistic, it does not look good to come back.
0-2
Ugh.
doesn't look good, let alone
0-2
0-3.
is very doable. It's one of those, hey, we hit cruise control. We thought we weren't on cruise control. We really were. Now we went back and fixed it. But you have to go out and put pen to paper now. You have to do it. You have to go out and physically beat the living piss out of the Chargers, or everybody's going to circle your game and go, not who they thought they were. Let's get them.
Hey,
Living piss.
before the living piss. Hey,
living piss.
before Declan fires someone's ass here, you know who really doesn't care win or lose, quite frankly? Our dogs, okay? That's why our dogs on a Sunday, win or lose, as long as they get their Nutrisource, as long as Maya Mackey gets a giant scoop of Nutrisource chicken and rice and training treats, it's the official dog food of Purple Daily, Nutrisource, Judd.
Stella feels the exact same way. In fact, they're with her favorite training rewards treats. And I would say that she cares. She just wants to beat the living piss out of anybody who might take her training rewards treats. That's the difference. Look at that guy, Vinny, man. That is a guard. That's a left guard as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Vincer's quick, Boone. He's got some quick hands. If ever I'm trying to be playful with him and I put the hands down, he's got those hands down, the butts
he's
up.
ready to go.
He's ready to rock, dude. He get him in space. Good luck. Good luck getting Vinny in space, and he gets his Nutrisource treats for getting in space.
Let's go. NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a Nutrisource retailer somewhere near you. Also, a shout out to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated's been around for over 100 years. Like a great offensive line protecting your quarterback, your business. It's all about frontline protection, risk management tools and resources. And you can find a list of industries Federated specializes in to see if it matches with your business. If you're a next generation business owner, taking over a company from your family or whatever it is, They are looking to work with you. Federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right, last 5 minutes here, Dex. Who are you firing? It's time for Declan Fires Someone's Ass on Trenches with Boone.
So it's week 2, right, boys? And last week I gave you the greatest hits, edition of Declan Fires Someone's Ass. I brought back one that I've used before because it has to just be hammered home. So we're gonna stick in a similar space this week. Ooh. I'm not ready to fire a coach quite yet. Not ready to fire a coordinator quite yet. We're getting there. There's names on a list. Let's just say there's names on a list already that's made.
There's a list.
But you know what? But there's still a few more weeks, few more days, I should say, for you to potentially make up for that. And maybe you can get yourself off that list. You don't get a severance package. You get to stay on for a little 401k. So let's do this. I'm going to fire this person's ass because he shouldn't be doing these. He shouldn't be doing these games. Kirk Herbstreit, come on down. I'm firing your ass, dude. You are great for college football. Great for college football. And I'm sure you're getting a nice penny here for your Thursday night games. You have no idea who the tackle is. You have no idea what you're looking at.
He was struggling.
Like, dude, and he is great for college football. I'm not firing him because I think he's bad at his job per se. I'm firing him because the lane is not working.
He
should not be doing.
He's too busy. He's taking a private jet for game day to another game at night, and he's going back over here on Thursdays.
For your own good, Kirk. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to cost cut you. I'm just doing this for your own good.
Ohio State's own.
Can I add on to that?
Yes,
Listen,
of course.
I agree with you. I heard his voice on Thursday, and I was like, I just can't. I can't listen to this. Thursday.
He's your guy, dude. He's an Ohio State brethren.
We are brothers. I love you, dude. I got you. Kirk, we're boys. But I'm also going to fire somebody in the same industry. Beth Mowens. Come on down.
Wow.
I love you for softball. That's the problem. I am the only guy that watches softball all May. At my house,
you're very supportive of softball.
You think I'm kidding? Yeah. You think I am a huge. I was a Rachel Garcia fan when she played for UCLA. We named our daughter after one of the Oklahoma pitchers, Kaylani Ricketts. Like, it's just, we love it. And so when Beth Mowens, I heard her on Sunday, I was like, this is football though. This is not softball.
Wow.
I can't hear it in my head. Like, Chris Collinsworth, you're Sunday night, dude. I hear it and I go, oh, it must be Sunday night. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Here's a guy.
I'm getting tired of Collinsworth. Truth be told, I'm getting tired of him too.
Easy.
Wow.
Come on.
You're out on are you firing Collinsworth?
Are you firing?
What? Actually, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm pulling the plug on the entire Thursday night booth. Al
could use
I
love
Al.
This is a good call.
Third quarter, they came back and he said, welcome back to Philadelphia's Veteran Stadium. It's like, Al, they haven't played in Veteran Stadium. They're celebrating year 20 in the link. And you are a Hall of Famer, but you don't need to prove this anymore.
Yeah.
I would redo the entire, in fact, write this down. They'll redo that entire booth for next season.
Oh, wow.
For sure they will.
I don't mind the pregame show. Like, I think, Carissa Thompson's fine, and Richard Sherman's fine. Tony Gonzalez throwing out reckless speculation on Kirk.
Andrew Whitworth, get the offensive lineman in there too.
About time, dude. About time.
I like that core.
He's really good.
Yes, let's fire the whole Thursday night crew. It's time.
It's gone. They're all gone. All of you are gone. All right.
Gotta go.
Amazing stuff, man. There he is, Booney from the O-Line Committee podcast, Apple, Spotify, and the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. He's with us in the trenches here on Purple Daily every single Monday. There we go.
Block somebody. Block your damn man. That's the moral of today's story.
Ed, that's your guy right there. Ed,
stop sucking. Do your job.
Are we sure it's week 3? We're just trying to get guys blocked. It's week 3. We're like, hey, it's time to show up. Let's go.
Trying to figure this out still. Hey, this is Daily Vikings Entertainment here on Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings at some point to win a Super Bowl before we die.